And great Lord Dionysus, I thank you for your inspiration. I thank you for the blessings you give me in designing videos and the inspiration to do my artworks. I ask that your blessing be upon all my YouTubers this day. May they have your light and inspiration and feel your protection always. So mote it be. Hey Tubies, Psychic Bob here. Well, I tell you, I was praying to Lord Dionysus, who's the god of theater, god of arts, god of protection, god of divine, powerful, mystical Lord. Anyways, it's Friday. Welcome to Friday. I hope you guys are having a great Friday wherever you are. And I want to come here today and share with you some new artworks. So let's take a look. Here's one of my new paintings. This one started out to be more of an abstract one, but it kind of evolved into something that kind of looks like a scene or an image from space. And so I titled it as Blue Moon. And let's go a little closer and take a look at it here. This is done in an 18 by 24 size, and it's done in acrylics on canvas. But I started out with a black field, and I started adding white to it, and I realized, wow, that makes kind of a mystical effect. I really enjoyed it. And I wanted to add some splashes of color, and it was interesting because I picked up yellow, and I accidentally dropped yellow on the canvas, and it made a splat, and I said, I kind of like that splat. So I filled it in a little bit and enhanced it, and it kind of looks like a sun in space, I think. And then I said, well, I'm going to add some blue, and I started with some blue, and I put a little blue in, and I thought, you know what? I don't want any more. I think we'll stop right there. And so I ended up with this kind of abstract, mystical look, and I just call it Blue Moon. So it's kind of like the blue moon. There's a golden sun. I could call it Blue Moon and Yellow Sun, I suppose. But right now I just called it Blue Moon because that's what was inspiring me. And you can see this kind of mystical effect I did. I used white acrylic paint, but instead of brushing it on, I stained it. I used like cloth and sponges, and I used very thin layers and stained the canvas, and it makes this kind of misty effect, which is kind of like the ethers of space. Anyway, so this is my newest painting called Blue Moon. Anyways, I hope you guys like that. So there you go, Blue Moon. Here, let's just zoom in so we get a little. Luckily, I don't have too much glare on this one because it's more of an opaque painting. There's our blue moon. You see, and there's our golden sun and all the misty space around it. What do you think, guys? You like this? Kind of mystical looking? Anyways, I enjoyed making it. I hope you enjoy it too. And behold, here is my other recent painting. I call this one Platinum 36. And it's done in a minimalist, brutalist style. The brutalist style has rough textures and it's made to look like concrete. Brutalism was very popular in the 1950s and 60s in architecture. And the style of brutalism also drifted into other artworks and paintings and sculptures. But this is a 12 by 24 canvas. It's done in acrylics, and up here is a soft kind of platinum silvery color, and you'll notice how the texture is. Hopefully this will come out on camera. It's kind of hard to film these to get the effect, because in person it's much more obvious. There we go, zoom in a little bit. You can see some of the texture across the canvas. And I've subdivided the canvas with the top half in the really harsh texture, and the bottom is in a softer texture, a little darker shade of silver or platinum. I call this platinum. But you can see here, if you look, there's a subtle dividing line. Hopefully this comes out. It's hard to see again on camera. It's funny because in person you can see it a lot clearer, but maybe it's the lighting or my camera. I can't get the effect as strong as it shows in person. But hopefully that'll give you a little idea. Again, it's 12 by 24 size on canvas. Platinum 36 is the name of it. So anyways, hope that gives you some other ideas. If you're thinking about painting or art, maybe it'll inspire you. You know, do you guys like this one? What do you think? Platinum 36. And there you go. In addition to doing painting, I also like to collect artworks from other artists. And this is a print I recently got, and it's by Jackson Pollock. You may remember Jackson Pollock. I channeled him a few months ago doing paintings. Well, this is one of his earlier works before his what became known as his drip paintings. This was made in 1943, and it's called Composition 1 with Pouring. And this is what kind of started him down his path of his drip paintings. But this one is a little more, rather than drips, it's more like controlled pouring on the canvas. But this was done in 1943. And I really like it. Let's see if you guys can see. It's kind of hard here with the glare on the glass. This is not the original, it's a print. But the original canvas, I think, is in New York at the Museum of Modern Art. But notice how he uses various colors, that interesting blue and the yellow and the green. He had a real sense of combining, interposing colors, and he's got some brown in there with a black background. I really like this. Anyways, just want to share it with you. Curious if you've seen this. This is from what I understand, it's a more famous piece by him. I had never seen it before. From 1943, Composition 1 with Pouring. Anyways, Jackson Pollock, there you go. And since it's Friday, we'll call it unofficially UFO Friday. I can't put that the official title for various reasons, censorship, etc. But, I thought I would share with you some of my UFO beliefs and experiences. The very first UFO that I saw was several years ago, almost 10 years ago now, probably. And I saw a giant silver ball in the sky. Now, this was not a balloon. It was clearly solid metal, and it floated motionless over my area. I was up at Landmark Mall, which is the highest point in the city of Alexandria. It overlooks the whole city. And while I was there, I looked up and I saw literally a silver ball. It was massive. It was bigger than a human. It's probably like 12 feet in diameter, I'm guessing. But it was so up high in the sky, it looked like a little ball about that big. But I could clearly see it. And what was amazing is it was absolutely silent, absolutely motionless. And it was just there. It had no exhaust. It had no sound. Now, we don't have any devices, whether they're balloons or weather balloons or satellites, that can remain motionless right in the sky. Everything's in motion. Our satellites move across the sky. This was not, I believe, an Earth-made satellite. But I got to watch it very closely for a while. And this is in the days before I had a camera and was doing videos. So I didn't think to film it, but I wish I had now. But what's really fascinating is that I got a really good look at it. Unfortunately, I had to get on a bus. And as I got on the bus, I watched it out the window still until we went down the hill and I could no longer see it because the trees were blocking it from my sight. But I'll tell you, if you ever see a UFO, you'll know they're real. Now, what's interesting is I didn't know that UFO even existed, that type. So I went home and started researching and looked it up and found out, oh my God, a lot of people are seeing this UFO. And I actually filed a report with the National UFO Database. I'll put the link below. You can go look that up. But that was my first UFO encounter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a few little film clips here of some spherical UFOs for you to see. Now, these are not actually real UFOs. These are that are animated clips. But it'll give you an idea of kind of what I saw. The first one shows roughly about the size that I'm estimating the UFO was that I saw. And this is a clip, it looks like from 1950s, of a sphere that came down to Earth. Now, I believe that that sphere I saw in the sky could actually come down. Also, other people I've talked to have seen these UFOs said that what's interesting is they seem to have a skin that sometimes changes texture or color or, you know, appearance in some way. I didn't see the skin change on my UFO, but other people have told me it changes almost as if it's a conscious entity or interconnects, which I think is fascinating because I do believe there's a biological element to some UFO, that it's almost like technology and biology combined. Anyways, take a look at these clips. Now, I've heard some UFO observers tell me that those little silver balls are unmanned. Basically, there's nobody inside them, but they're filled with sensors. They're kind of like probes studying the Earth, the atmosphere, the, you know, whatever, observing the people, kind of like drones. But these are not drones. These have been seen long before drones. But many people have told me that they've seen these little spheres coming out of the flying saucer craft. And as many of you know, I'm a big believer in the flying saucers as well. We don't hear so much about that because most of the talk today is about triangular craft or the giant motherships, which are often seen, which I've done videos on both of those before. But I wanted to show a few clips here also of some UFOs. Now, these are not, I don't believe, actual UFO clips. They're just taken from film clips from the 1950s. But take a look at these UFO images because even though they're fictional, they actually very much mimic actual UFO sightings. Because the UFOs that are seen in many forms, some have lights around them, some are silver discs, some are large discs, some are small discs, some are small enough for one person, some could fit a crew of 5 or 6. So they're all sort of sights. Some glow brightly, some are dull. Anyways, take a look at these. These are just some UFOs clips as well, some flying saucer clips. And it's believed that the silver probes, the silver ball UFOs, come out of these. So check this out. Pretty cool stuff, huh? Yeah, I love it. Well, anyway, so I just want to share these with you today because I think it's very fascinating. You know, the UFO phenomena has been going on literally for thousands of years. We always think of it as something new, but really it's just, I think it's coming more into the forefront because one, the aliens are being much more open, and two, we now have the technology and the cameras everywhere to capture it more. So anyways, as I've said and I've told y'all before, don't panic over this stuff. These aliens, if they wanted to take over the Earth, they could have already. They have been here for thousands of years. They're not going to hurt us, so don't have any fear. But I do want to share with you these ideas and, you know, get you thinking about it. You know, I just want to ask you, tell me in the box below, have you ever seen a UFO? What did you see? Tell me about your experience. Have you ever seen the silver ball UFOs, the spheres? Or have you ever seen a flying saucer? Tell me about that. Anyways, guys, I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to keep it short because it's Friday and Psychic Bob needs a little bit of a break. But I would love to hear from you. If you want to call and get on my schedule for a private reading, I still have a few openings for the weekend. 703-825-3929 is my phone number, or write to me at my email, PsychicBobHickman@gmail.com. Anyways, I'd love to hear from you. Get on my schedule for a reading. Visit my website, www.PsychicBob.com. That's all one word. That link will be below as well. And anyways, also tell me, do you like my paintings? All right, guys, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Saturday is going to be our spiritualist class and seance. You don't want to miss it. So we'll see you back here then. Until then, may you all always blessed be.